How's it going, guys and gals? This is Anthony. Today we're back at a new video on the channel. Today we'll be talking about the WrestleMania 42 two predictions live from New Orleans. Wait. We're back in Vegas again? Really? I know, horrible joke, but still, I just thought it was gonna be funny. But hey, WrestleMania 42 live from Las Vegas, Nevada. Once again, we got 13 matches on the card between two nights. Let's predict right away. The first hour of night one it is going to be on ESPN 2. We got two matches. The Usos and LA Knight versus Division, represented by the new World Tag Team Champions Logan Paul and Austin Theory alongside ISO Speed. And before I predict this first match, if you like this type of content, remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Without further ado, let's jump right in. All of this came about, was it in Madison Square Garden when the Vision won the tag titles? I think it was on MSG, right? Where they had the street fight that opened the show. Where, LA Knight got involved attacking Logan Paul, and then he dragged ISO Speed into the action, which led to Speed accidentally hitting LA Knight with the brass knucks, leading to Jimmy getting hit with them and Austin Theory getting dragged for the pin and the win. We saw how LA Knight attacked Speed on his stream. And this is gonna go either one of two ways. Either Jey Uso turns heel or ISO Speed turns on Logan Paul. Since I think this is going to be the match that's going to open the show, I think it's going to be ISO Speed turning on Logan and Austin, leading to the Usos and LA Knight winning this match. Next up, we have Drew McIntyre versus Jacob Fatu in an unsanctioned match. As we all know, we still do not know who the hell attacked Jacob Fatu back in November. Although I still have a pretty good idea of who it might be. I think it's Randy Orton, but we'll get there. Because if I still need to go deep into the situation of Randy Orton and what was originally the plan, which I did a video previously, which you can go back and watch it. So, since this is gonna be built, Drew just lost the title. You're not gonna have him lose twice in a row. Or you could have and then say, well, this match, quote unquote, doesn't count. So whatever, have Jacob win. But I think it's gonna have more significance when Drew wins and Jacob discovers that it wasn't Drew, because we'll know it wasn't Cody. We know that when he accidentally cost Cody the title on the first SmackDown of the year. So to me, Drew wins and we may get a new glimpse onto who was the one that attacked Jacob Fatu. Who attacked Jacob Fatu? As we all know, that attack was a way to write him off television due to a dental infection. Let's go. I just want to get this match out of the way. Let's talk about the ladies here on the middle. Let's get AJ versus Becky out of the way. The match at Elimination Chamber was bad. And this match not having any stipulation, even though I liked the result at the time, I'm kind of the person that thinks that match shouldn't have happened. Or if you were gonna make it anyway, have Becky win by shenanigans and then AJ wins here. But since AJ won in Chicago, just to have the visual of Punk and AJ with the titles, I think it's gonna be I think Becky wins here, and Becky, just go back to being a babyface. You suck as a heel. And when I mean you suck as a heel right now is because when you go to line is your hot husband. When your go to line is your hot husband, when Seth is now a babyface, that line does not work anymore. Go back to being a babyface. Because Raw needs a babyface. Especially after Rhea is going to SmackDown, and especially now that Bianca is still out with the finger injury. It's been a year, Bianca. Where the hell are you? So yeah, I think Becky wins here. Next up, we have the Fatal 4-Way for the Women's Tag Team Championships. I am recording this before SmackDown, so if they say that Nikki is not clear, you know, like whatever. But initially my prediction was the Bellas, but now due to Nikki's injury and whether or not she's clear, I'm gonna change it, and I think it's gonna be Becky and Lyra, because remember, Bayley was written off WrestleMania last year to put Becky in, and she won the titles with Lyra, won the tag team titles with Becky. So I think this year Becky is gonna get her flowers. Bayley and Lyra will win the tag team titles. If Becky is, not Becky, but if Nikki is cleared, I think the Bellas win. So I apologize, I normally do one prediction, but due to the situation, I have to make a double prediction on this one. I apologize. I've really been liking how personal it's gone between Stephanie and Liv. You know, like mentioning each other's mothers, calling each other the S word, that ends with a T on Spanish. You know what I mean? Like, it's gone personal, and people think that Liv Morgan is gonna win, but you need for, if you are planning, you know, I'm getting way ahead of myself here, but if you're planning on Randy winning, you need a lot of baby faces winning first before you break the fans' heart, because that's how wrestling works. That's how wrestling has always worked. So Stephanie wins here, and you know, this is a mental fart, I know, but I've always thought about this ever since Liv won the Rumble. Dominic is gonna join Stephanie, and we get a double turn. That's my prediction. Dominic will join Stephanie, and we get a double turn here. Double turn, double turn, double turn, double turn, double turn. Stephanie goes heel. Becky goes babyface. You see? Stuff gets balanced out. And Liv goes back to being a babyface. Seth versus Gunther. I was watching the Drew versus Jacob graphic for a moment. Seth versus Gunther. As we all know, the original plans here were Braun Breaker versus Seth Rollins, but Braun Breaker is not clear yet. Or he got cleared a couple days ago. So for the build-up, it didn't make sense to have the match announced if you didn't know if he was gonna get cleared. Rey Mysterio got injured, which was originally supposed to be Gunther versus Rey Mysterio, and Rey got cleared anyway, a couple weeks before Mania, so you could have done Gunther versus Rey anyway, but still. This story, even though this is like a 2-week story, has been built around on Gunther wanting a favor from Paul Heyman, and we know what that favor is. Gunther versus Brock Lesnar at SummerSlam, where if Brock loses, he must retire. That is the story they're going for. Gunther is 1-2 at WrestleMania. This is Seth Rollins' first match back. It's very hard to predict. I think this is the most unpredictable match between the two nights because you can understand both sides of who should go over. I'm gonna say Seth wins because AJ Styles and John Cena get involved. We here get ready to fly. I am, you are. I am. And then we hear basic tokenomics and then Cena comes out and they distract Gunther and Seth wins. Or Braun Breaker wins. Braun Breaker gets involved and helps Gunther win. I'm gonna go with the most logical one, which is Braun Breaker gets involved here and Gunther wins. I think. If we here get ready to fly hits, and my time is now or basic tokenomics hit, give me my credit. So I'm sticking with Gunther on this one. And now the main event. Cody Rhodes versus Randy Orton with Pat McAfee in his corner. As you may know, I made a video a couple days ago where I stated that the original plan was supposed to be Cody Rhodes versus Randy Orton with Chris Jericho in his corner. And as I stated on that video, the original plan was that, and the reason it didn't happen is because Chris Jericho did not want to turn heel. And that's the reason they went to Pat McAfee. And we saw today on the Pat McAfee show where he called the fans marks and mentioned AEW. Why are you mentioning the company down in Jacksonville, my guy? It's stupid. But okay, whatever. And man, I think it's and especially since we hear that Randy Orton is injured, so we need to see what happens. But one way or the other, and I'm getting way ahead of myself here for night 2, which is going to be the next video, which you can expect tomorrow morning or tomorrow in the early afternoon, where I think The Rock is going to get involved in both main events. And I'm going to say one person is going to win a title and the other is going to retain its title. I'll leave it at that. You can guess who stays as a heel or a heel turn. Who knows? Perhaps they'll celebrate a heel turn with a Pepsi. I'll just leave it at that, guys. Remember, if you like this type of content, remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And as I always say, share these beautiful moments with your families, create beautiful memories, because life's too short, but those memories last a lifetime. Remember, night 2 predictions tomorrow. As always, this is Anthony signing off. Bye-bye.